Hi, in this video I'm going to discuss one of the most important topic which a lot of students, especially during this placement season, if I talk about, or I would say for the students who are in final year right now, they have this confusion, the level of English they should know to actually get a job. If they don't know English, what they can do, why English, like is English compulsory if I talk about. So let's discuss everything in detail. So first of all, let's try to understand why English. Now, English is a language with which people communicate. Now, obviously, I'm making this particular video on English. I can make this video in Hindi, but I cannot make this video in any other language because I cannot speak that language. I cannot speak Tamil. I cannot speak Malayalam if I talk about. I cannot speak Spanish. I cannot speak French if I talk about. So, for me, mode of communication is English, and that is what I'm using. Okay, so this is why obviously English is quite of, I would say, a required kind of a thing, especially when you're looking for a job in current scenario, because obviously English is a language which is sort of a common language which is spoken by almost everyone. Now the second question is, if I'm looking for jobs in India, do I need to learn English? I'll give you a very simple scenario. Let's say you belong to a southern part of India. Okay, in southern part of India we have various states with various cultures. Now obviously they have their own native language. Now, if someone who is coming from the northern part of India, and if they are not aware of that, native language of yours, they won't be able to communicate with you. Let's say you go from your native state to this, the northern part of India, obviously you won't be able to communicate there. So what happens? English is one kind of a language which is actually connecting the people who don't know each other's native language, if I talk about. So even if we talk about an Indian part of it, so the language of English is quite important, especially when you're going to the southern part of India, because obviously the language they have multicultural and they have multiple languages in the southern part of India. But let's say if you go to the northern part of India, if that is a Hindi belt, if I talk about, so obviously you can have a communication in Hindi if you're coming from the Hindi belt part of it. But yes, ultimately the majority of the communication which is going to happen, the majority of the team meetings which are going to happen, the majority of the review meeting, or if I talk about HR interview, the technical interview, majority of that thing is going to happen irrespective of you are in northern part of India, central part of India, or maybe southern part of India. So in India, you may take this as a gamble. Like if you wish to talk to your colleague, you can use the language of Hindi, but obviously majority of the companies are now preferring English. If I want to skip this process, okay, I don't want to learn the English as a language, so what should I do? Like, should I be worried right now? Well, obviously you should be worried, because obviously due to I would say globalization, if I talk about the internet scenario, if I talk about, majority of the companies have clients who are coming from outside India. Okay, let's forget about the kind of diversity we have in India. Let's talk about, let's say your company is serving a European client. Let's say your company is serving American client. Let's say your company is serving a Singapore client. Let's say your company is serving Australian client. Now obviously they are not going to speak your native language. It could be any language. They're going to communicate in English. Let's say you're serving a French client. So obviously if you are aware of how to speak French, that is good, but otherwise they will be speaking English. So you don't have any other option there. So you have to learn English. You have to communicate in English, especially when we talk about the foreign client. And you won't believe it or not, majority of the companies have foreign clients, so they actually communicate in English. So English is becoming now quite an important language. Maybe I have made few videos previously, but I want to redirect if I want to, that English is obviously becoming a major important part. Now the question is, okay Avinash, fine, English is important, I understand that I may have to serve the foreign client if I talk about, but what is the level of English I should be learning? So the level of English you should be learning is, obviously you should be able to speak, you should be able to understand what person is saying, and you should be able to write your information. If I talk about whatever things you have in your brain right now, you're able to process that information in a text, or I would say a written format. Now why is that? Because obviously if the communication is going to happen in English, you should be able to express yourself. Let's say if someone is speaking to you in the language of English, are you able to understand what they are trying to say? If you're watching this video, are you able to understand what I'm trying to say? So if the answer is yes, obviously we can have a good communication. If you have some questions, you can actually ask those kind of questions and different stuff. So try to understand. If we talk about in terms of level of English, you should be able to read, write and speak, if I talk about. Now if we talk about in terms of grammatical things, so grammatical thing is going to come to you gradually. If I talk about myself also, I am not grammatically great if I talk about. So you have to understand that this is something which is going to come up gradually. You can obviously use various tools, like there are majority of tools we use these days which have a grammatical tool kind of a thing there, so it can actually help you improve your grammar. Okay, now the next question is, should I be finding jobs without English? Okay, so I saw a company in my native location, or I would say in my particular city. They don't say that you need English. So I want to give you a very specific thing. If a company is working in a local language, if I talk about their day-to-day operations are happening in local language, their clients are local, I mean the clients are from the same city if I talk about. So obviously in terms of career growth, the career growth is going to get stagnant. I'll give you a very simple scenario here. Majority of the people whom I am in touch, who have a good level of English, they can speak in English, they can write in English, they can actually communicate in English, they often get the opportunity, something we call as an on-site if I talk about. That means you're going to go to a foreign country and you're going to work directly with the client in their office location. So try to understand these things. This is very important. When we are talking about our careers, we want to be at the best of our career. Now obviously the best of the career is not going to be handed to you just like anything. So if you find a company which does not require to speak in English, or like they have a daily communication if I talk about in their native language, so obviously I would say the level of growth in that particular company, again I'm not quoting anything, but as per my opinion if I may, that growth will be quite stagnant. So please focus on this particular language of English. The whole idea of this video was, there is a scenario, I would say there is a situation which is going around. A lot of people are struggling and they are thinking, okay, I can skip English part. But I want to mention one thing. If you're going to skip the English speaking part, that is going to be very difficult for you. Now obviously if you have some questions around this topic, this is a very sensitive topic if I say, as per my understanding. If you have any questions, obviously put them in the comment section, so I would be more than happy to assist you with any of the queries you have. Secondly, we have a dedicated channel for you guys. So if you are into you're going to graduate next year, we have a dedicated Telegram channel for you guys. If you're going to graduate in 2024, we have a dedicated Telegram group for you guys, channel for you guys. And if you're going to graduate in year 2023, there is a Google winter internship which is going to happen. So I would request, please watch that particular video in our channel, or maybe in this particular location. With this, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.